A type of camera that's been missing from Nikon's Coolpix range in the past has been that of a premium compact. The Nikon Coolpix A sits above the company's P series, and it's a very desirable looking camera on first glance. And we're going to find out how good the Nikon Coolpix A is in this full review. The most impressive thing about the Nikon Coolpix A is its sensor. It incorporates the same size sensors found within Nikon's DSLR, the D7000, and to fit that within a camera that's so small is very impressive indeed. And it's no great surprise that it's the world's smallest compact camera to feature a DX format sensor. Producing an effective resolution of 16.2 megapixels, Nikon say the idea behind the Coolpix A is to combine the portability of a compact with the performance of a DSLR. As well as inheriting the sensor from the D7000, the Coolpix A adopts Nikon's X-Speed 2 image processor. This technology is a generation older than the X-Speed 3 processor we've been used to seeing on Nikon's latest DSLRs. Perhaps it's no surprise then that the camera doesn't shoot at breathtaking speeds, but at a more conservative 4 frames per second when its release mode is set to continuous. Unlike compacts that feature zoom lenses, the Nikon Coolpix A is a bit more of a niche product with its fixed lens. Now the fixed lens is an 18mm f2.8 lens, and that's equivalent to 28mm in 35mm terms. Now this can be seen as being quite wide for those that this camera is aimed at, although it is quite handy if you really want to get in a wide vista within the frame, great for landscapes and those kind of shots. However, for portraits it will mean that you really need to get close to your subject to fill the frame. The Coolpix A doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not, and although it's not going to be great as a general purpose compact for those that like to zoom into the heart of the action, it's designed as more of a kind of street and travel compact that can just be whipped out for any shots that happen right in front of you as they happen. Featuring an ISO range of 100 to 6400, it's possible to push the sensitivity higher if required to a maximum equivalent of ISO 25600 in the high 2 setting. Supporting 14-bit compressed RAW and JPEG file formats, autofocus is the contrast detect type and offers the choice of single servo AF or full time servo AF. There's also a selection of 4 AF area modes, and we can see these just by going down here, and you're given the choice of face priority AF, wide area AF, normal area AF, as well as subject tracking. Technology that we're starting to see on more and more compacts these days is the addition of Wi-Fi functionality built into the camera, but the Nikon Coolpix A doesn't feature this, and instead you'll need to purchase the extra WU1A mobile adapter, which then allows you to transmit images straight from the camera to a mobile device. The only difficulty is that you just have to plug this into the side. It's quite a small item that could easily get lost, and you can also see that it just sticks out from the body very slightly, so it could easily get knocked or damaged. The camera supports full HD video at a variety of frame rates, which include 30, 25 and 24 frames per second. Movies are recorded in the MPEG-4 format using H.2.64 compression, and a built-in stereo microphone is included. The only trouble is there's no movie record button on the body of the camera, so to shoot a movie you're required to go into the quick menu, and then you're just required to go into the release mode and go all the way down to the bottom to movie recording, which isn't a very quick way of recording video, and it's quite painstaking to then go back from video back to still recording. The Coolpix A looks very similar to another Coolpix model that we've seen before, the Nikon Coolpix P310. In terms of size, it's very similar, but in terms of its robustness, the Coolpix A is much better. It's solid, and that's thanks to it having some aluminium front and rear covers, as well as a magnesium top cover. It feels great in the hand, and it feels like it's going to last for an extremely long time. All of the buttons on the top plate are really well positioned, with the mode dial being in easy reach of the thumb when the camera is being used single-handedly. The toggle on-off button, just up here at the top, also offers a quick way of turning on and off the camera, and against the stopwatch, the camera springs into life within 2.5 seconds of flicking the switch. For a camera that has stiff competition in this area of the market from the likes of Fujifilm's X100S, the Coolpix A needs to offer a jaw-dropping performance if it's going to be impressive to those that it's aimed at. Regrettably, the Coolpix A is let down by a rather mediocre AF performance that wasn't as fast or as sprightly as we'd hoped for. Although it's not too bad in bright lighting conditions, in darkening conditions the lens has a tendency to hunt back and forth, and it's not as fast as we'd expect for a camera that costs in excess of £900. To take some positives from the Coolpix A's AF system, we really like the way that you can position the AF point to the far corners of the frame, and the subject tracking AF is extremely responsive. The quality of the Coolpix A's 3-inch 921K dot display is exceptional. We didn't experience any difficulties composing or viewing images, and reflections on the screen surface didn't cause any issues either. The optical viewfinder isn't an essential accessory that's needed, and its use is limited to compositional purposes. The addition of a touchscreen on a compact such as the Coolpix A doesn't really seem necessary when everything is so easy to navigate using the quick menu or the main menu. Of course, touchscreens are becoming more and more popular on compact cameras that we see today. However, it's not really needed, and the only reason that we can see that the touchscreen would be a benefit on the Coolpix A is for just selecting the AF point around the frame. In terms of its image quality, set to auto white balance, the Coolpix A records faithful colour in bright light, but we did notice that it had a tendency to produce slightly cooler results than we'd like in overcast conditions. Vibrant and punchy colours are recorded between ISO 100 and 6400, and it's only at the highest expanded settings that we witnessed a slight weakening in colour saturation. The camera handles tricky lighting very well, and even in scenes where there were dark shadows combined with some brighter areas, the camera showed no apparent signs of underexposure or overexposure. At higher sensitivities, images do appear slightly softer, but this only becomes noticeable as you begin to push up and beyond ISO 1600. Opening the lens to its maximum aperture of f2.8 revealed there are some signs of vignetting in the far corners of the frame. However, this quickly disperses when the aperture is closed to f5.6. The great thing about the Nikon Coolpix A is the first premium compact camera that we've seen with an APS-C size sensor that can just slot into your pocket. It's a lot smaller than other premium compacts such as the X100S. It also delivers excellent image quality at high ISO as well, but it is let down slightly by a slightly mediocre performance in terms of its AF. It's a good camera all round, but it is expensive at £999. Check back to whatdigitalcamera.com for the full review.